YouTube. GM, this is going to be a 300 TOA Invo guide, but basically it's going to include some advanced solves, advanced tech that you could do, some decent gear that you can do to push up to 350, 400, even potentially like 500s. You can definitely even do 500s in this setup. So it's kind of laying out the groundwork for you to push the raid level a bit higher than the other guides have shown. The gear we're using is, we have Crystal. I'm wearing backpack for the purposes of Monkey Room, but we're bringing a blowpipe for utility for the swarms and for Monkey Room. And then both is going to be your main ranged weapon. You're going to use this at Zebak. You're going to use it at Warden. Very, very useful. The main thing that we're showing you the guide though is Eye. Eye is very close to Shadow. Not quite as good in TOA because it gets multiplied by 4, but it's really, really strong in TOA. It's a little better than Bofa on Akkha, and it's a little better on Warden. So it's very, very strong. I'm bringing Virtus. If you don't have Virtus, Blue Moon is also good. I'm just showing some like more decent mid-level setups. Bringing 5 Restore. One of them is a Sandfew. This is potentially for Kephri. There's a way you can get around using the Sandfew as well. We'll talk about that in a second. 3 Brew, Divine Super Combat. My spec weapon is going to be Burning Claws. Burning Claws are better DPS up to 375 raid level in TOA than a Voidwaker. One of the benefits of Voidwaker though is that you can whack core with it. So it's a better weapon to whack core and like Monkey Room. I would say at a lower raid level, stick with Burning Claws. As you push the raid level higher, swap it for a Voidwaker. It's going to be better. We're also bringing these runes. Either runes specifically let you use Thrall and Death Charge. We're on Thralls, by the way. Thralls are insanely good for TOA. They add a ton of damage. Everything in TOA is super tanky. Thralls are going to speed up your raid tremendously by like 1 to 2 minutes. And if you can get double Death Charge before you go send your TOAs, which you get from Yama, really, really nice to go grab double Death Charge before you go send. And then we're bringing BGS. BGS is really, really good on a lot of the bosses. We're going to use it on Baba. We're going to use it on Kephri. We're going to use it on Zebak. So very solid for those. If you don't want to buy this and you have a Bone Dagger is like just a little bit worse. You can't respec with a Bone Dagger is the downside, but if it's your opening spec on the boss, Bone Dagger is guaranteed to hit and it does the same thing. It still drains levels. Haha, lied about the 3 brews. You need a DDS. This is necessary for speccing out the core. You're going to need that to get a 3 down. So make sure you bring that as well. You could probably get away with bringing just 1 brew as well if you wanted to bring more items, something like that. You have the option of bringing a Surge Pot. Surge Pod is going to increase your DPS a little bit, but when you have weaker spec weapons like a Burning Claws or Voidwaker and you don't have a ZCB, it's not adding very much damage to your raid, so you really don't need that. It's just if you feel like pushing even further, you could bring a Surge Pod. It's an option. What stats should you have to do TOA? Higher stats are better. I'm maxed for the purposes of the video. I recommend like above 85 before you go sending TOAs. The higher your stats are, the better always though. Highly recommend AFKing them if you don't have 99s yet, but 85 plus is just going to let you easily get raids done. So would recommend. So questionable things with this setup. You're like, why do you bring Assembler? You don't need to save arrows. Well, you need to save darts, but it does give your Bofa a max it as well, which I would say is worth it. I would say even if you're not bringing a blowpipe or something, it's worth bringing Assembler. Also, Virtus Mask in this setup does give you max it as well. Double check that. If you have slightly different items, you want to check that the mask is actually giving you max it. If it's not, don't bring it. Not worth the slot. Also, Oath Plate is an option these days. It's not super expensive. It's a little bit more than Bando's Face Guard, but Oath Plate is the same strength as these, which is good. It's a little worse defense, which doesn't matter for the most part within the raid, maybe just Kephri, but for the most part doesn't really matter. And also Oathplate is better for landing BGSs, just much higher odds of landing the BGS. Also lets you spam Burning Claws in certain parts of the raid, like on Warden and stuff, and they're going to be more accurate. So that can be nice. Last but not least is my Chugging Barrel. You don't need this, but just showing the pre-pots you could bring. Stamina is nice for the Monkey Room. If you're running around a lot, it's possible to run out. Divine Super Combat and Divine Ranging, both nice. You can also pre-pot a regular ranging. That works too. It'll carry into Baba. Doesn't matter if you're using a Bofa on the boulders because it's still going to kill them. Extended Anti-Venom is actually a long enough antidote that you can carry it from Baba into Kephri, and it'll actually keep the anti-poison without needing a Sandfew. So if you're using these, you can actually skip the Sandfew, which can be nice. You don't have to worry about it at all. Pre-potting a prayer regen is really, really nice for saving prayer. You use a lot of prayer in the first room, which is the Monkey Room. I just talked about Room Order a lot. What room order are we doing? We're doing Baba, Kephri, Zebak, Akkha. The last two are more malleable. Kind of depends on the levels those rooms are when you get there. The reason you run these is because melee gets boosted less by salt, which you get later through the raid. Melees get boosted less than your ranged and mage. So that means you want to do the melee bosses first for speed through the raid. So first is Baba, second Kephri, for that reason. I see a lot of people mention stuff like, why not you do Zebak start? I've seen streamers do that kind of thing. The Zebak start is a thing people do at an extremely high raid level, like 600, to pair with Pathmaster Invocation, so that they cannot get a level 4 Zebak. So that's why they do that. Basically to be safe, but it's much, much, much faster to not do that. So don't start with Zebak. Gonna show my invos. These invos are not what I recommend for a 300, okay? I'm showing some harder invocations that you could use to throw in and start pushing your raid level a little bit. Showing stuff like Upset Stomach, Overlords, Aerial Assault, maybe stuff that you wouldn't want to run. Also Boulderdash. Some things that are kind of harder to run, but as you learn them, they're pretty free to throw in and they let you push the raid level up. So we're doing a tougher 300 variant, you could say, just to show you what you would do as you throw on those harder invocations. If you want to see the different invocations I actually recommend, I have a TOA master guide. Go check that out. It has a bunch of different breakpoints on invocations that you could run at different levels, different ideas for what you should be running. Okay, let's do the monkey breakdown with detached cam, I think. Okay, we are standing outside of the monkey room. The monkey room is the hardest room of the entire raid. It drains the most supplies, and it's the easiest to mess up, right? There's actually a lot going on with the monkey room to avoid using supplies, so we're going to go over it. First things first, when I enter the room, I like to be wearing Assembler and then my melee gear to make me extra tanky. Basically, the way this room works is a bunch of monkeys are going to be spawning through these holes. Occasionally, a puzzle is going to pop up where skulls are going to pop up over these pillars or over the vents. You're going to grab a hammer and potions out of these 2 crates when you start the room. Depending on where the skulls are, you're going to go quickly solve that puzzle. You have about 10 seconds to solve it before it punishes you with a bunch of damage if you don't make it. The main breakdown of the room is that for the main monkeys, there's 3 different types. So there's red melee monkeys, there's green ranged monkeys, and there's blue mage monkeys. For each of these, you one-shot with the style that they would be weak to, or you full max it with the style they would be weak to. What we do is blowpipe is enough to one-shot. It's enough to one-shot the small mages that will spawn. There's 2 sizes of monkeys, by the way. One is a higher level and has 30 health instead of 25. Most of them have 25. The higher level ones have a bit more health. Blowpipe on its own, one way, just by itself, which is why I'm wearing Assembler to not waste darts, will one-shot the tiny mages. But for the big mages, you're going to have to throw on Rigor. Rigor will let you one-shot that. With just a one-way pipe, that's enough to one-shot. For the melees, for the little ones, you just hit them with a basic eye cast. Insta one-way. That's all you need to one-shot it. For the bigger ones, 3-way is needed. Don't need prayer. This will one-shot the big ones. This one-shots the little ones. And then for the rangers, Fang actually one-shots without prayer. So you can just instantly run up, poke them, that's fine. If you have a Void Waker, it's just 4-tick instead of 5-tick, and it also one-shots everything. So another benefit of Void Waker is that it's better in this room. Besides the main monkeys, there's a couple extra ones. There is the Volatile Monkey, which will spawn on some waves. It's going to walk towards you instantly. As soon as it touches you, it's going to do a little animation, blow up, do 50 damage if you're standing right next to it. If you move even 1 tile away, it won't hit you at all. So that's all you have to do to avoid that. Also has the benefit of blowing up any monkeys next to it. Other monkey is Cursed Baboons. It's going to spawn and just start wandering around, leaves a trail of venom. If you step on it, it venoms you unless you have anti-venom on, which is why you want to pre-pot that and do this room first, because you get to pre-pot anti-venom and not bring it in the room. Yay. You can just kill that with a ranged hit. Has like 20 health. Any ranged weapon whatsoever is going to one-shot that. If it's far away, hitting it with a bofa can be nice, so then you don't get pathed around in a weird way. Last but not least is the most dangerous monkey. It's the Baboon Shamans. These are the highest priority, and they're the thing you're going to want to kill first every single wave that you see them. So these are, for the purposes of attacking them, mage. So you're going to hit them with ranged. They have a lot more health than the other monkeys. So you're going to need 2 pipe shots or 1 bofa in like a big crystal switch. Probably just stick with 2 basic pipe shots. That'll one-shot even without prayer, or 2-shot even without prayer. Their main attack is just summoning these little tiny thrall monkeys that are going to run up and punch you. Their melee damage, you can pray against them. One thing people don't know in their raids, I've seen people do hundreds of raids without noticing this, the thralls actually drain prayer points if they would have hit you. So even if you pray against them, they still will drain your prayer points over time. If you have like 10 of them hitting you at once, punching you, you're losing a ton of prayer in this room. Like you're probably wasting 2 extra doses without knowing it. Every single wave, what you're going to want to do, I'd highly recommend installing Tombs of a Masket plugin, by the way, if you're learning Monkey Room. In the Path of Apmeken part of that plugin, it's a giant plugin. It has like features for all of TOA, but in the Path of Apmeken part, you can turn on a wave helper that's going to tell you what's going to spawn. The reason that's important is you want your protection prayer to match whatever has just spawned into the room. Let's say 3 mages just spawned in. You're killing like the last brawler of the last wave. Swap pray mage. Even if the brawler's punching you, swap pray mage, right? You want to be praying against the thing that the most things are attacking you with in the room. So that's the main idea. I think we got there this time, Chad. I think so. I don't think we need to cut the tape. Anything I'm missing? The Tombs of a Masket plugin can also, I don't have this, but you should. It can put a radius around the monkeys. It can put a radius around the volatile baboon, which can show you the area that it's going to explode and hurt you in if you're standing in it. Can be really nice for avoiding those. Think we're good this time. Okay, we're running into the room. What you want to do is go drop 3 potions on any tile. Doesn't really matter where. I always drop on this tile. And then you're going to equip Eye, because that's the first thing you're going to be attacking every time is Brawlers. Just kidding. In this case, I've got a Shaman nearby. You're going to see I didn't turn on Offensive. It just doesn't matter. Like, you're still going to kill it in the same amount of shots. Rangers just spawned in. Let's pray ranged. Go ahead and tap this pillar. Kill these 2 monkeys. Pray Mage, because that's just what spawned in. Basically, you're just going to see, like, I'm playing super careful. Like, I'm just trying to pray against the main damage each wave and then take out the main threats each time. You're going to see I don't one-shot that because I didn't pray Rigor. You can see the volley just exploded the other volley and that thrall. So sometimes you can use that to your advantage. I missed the 3-way, so it doesn't one-shot, but that one will get one-shot. Let's quick kill the Shaman. Down to clean these up. He's running away from me. Let's just turn both on. Okay, stepped in some poison. That's okay. Tag this guy. One more Shaman. This is the very last wave. The wave that has a bunch of Shamans and the volleys is always the last one. Turn our prayer off. We're done with the room. Both of these fellas. Done, no biggie. 2 minutes. I used roughly 1 dose worth of prayer. And I lost maybe 20 health. So with that, I'm in a really good spot to not use too many supplies for Baba, which is coming up. So that's how you do it, roughly. Okay, we're at Baba. Baba used to be a complete menace, but now Baba doesn't hit through prayer anymore. Nice. Good changes. So as long as you're camping pray melee, not going to take damage from Baba. We love that. We love that. Baba has a few attacks. The first obvious one is Baba's going to drop rocks on your head. Pew! These do a lot of damage. They hit you for like 50, okay? She's going to drop a rock directly on your head, and then 2 rocks in 2 different parts of the room. It could be this corner, this corner. They're all over the room. It'll drop a big stack of rocks. This is important because her next attack is to throw a big rock at you. Also does a lot of damage. If you're standing next to one of these rocks, it's going to avoid the damage completely and blow up that rock. Okay? So you want to run next to one of these rocks when you see them drop so you're ready for that rock throw to avoid it. You can also stand next to one of these sarcophagi. Also completely nulls the damage, but it'll damage the sarcophagi a bit. If you damage it twice with 2 different rocks, it'll pop open and start shooting out little balls of death. Probably avoid opening them if possible. Use the rocks every time if you can, but in a pinch, you can use the sarcophagi to block that attack as well. Not too bad. Baba can also spawn little tiny monkeys that will shoot you. They're pretty inaccurate. They don't hit you too hard. You can actually 1-tick attack these. They ignore your attack delay, so you can just instantly attack them with anything. You can just like fang them. You could fang them 1-tick back to back. Like they're like Zebak jugs, basically. So you can like instantly attack them. That makes them really, really good for double death charge. Really, really good for double death charge because they're just going to instantly give you 30 back for like 2 game ticks to kill them. Just kill them. Bofa works really well to just like pew pew, get rid of them. Last special Baba does, which is every 33% of her health. I'd recommend setting up monster HP percentage plugin so you can see what her health is. You're going to see that when I'm fighting Baba. There's going to be a big green number. The big green number is her current health. So at 66% health and 33% health, she's going to slam you in the back of the room. Ah! If you have the gap on and you're in front of this pit, you're going to die instantly. Ah! Don't stand in front of the pit. I have these handy dandy tiles marked that show if you're standing on these or further away, you'll dodge the gap by default. Ah, indicators. These are good. Baba's going to sit at the top of the room throwing boulders down. You're going to one-shot the cracked boulder. There's 5 different boulders. One of them will be cracked. You're going to one-shot that with ranged damage with a bofa. So just throw on your bofa and then go shoot the cracked boulder. Then what you want to do is slowly work your way up to this row of tiles. This is just an indicator, right, for not only where the gap is, but also if you're standing on this row of tiles, if a boulder's coming towards you and you shoot it, there's actually delay on your shot before it actually gets rid of the boulder, right? So it can be really confusing if you can make it. So one of the ways you can be certain that you'll make it is stand on this row of tiles. When you shoot the next boulder, wait until it touches your character. So I put true tile on the boulders as well. Wait until the boulder is touching your character, like right here, and then run. Then you're guaranteed to make it without even having to think. Then run up, hit Baba with Fang. She will stop doing boulders, and then go back to doing her old attacks. Repeat, easy peasy. When you enter the room, you're going to drop BGS specs until you get 20 damage. 20 damage is the cap. If you miss with the first spec, you hit like a 10, just spec again. And from then on, you're using Burning Claws on stab for the rest of the fight. Void Waker, if you have that, good too after you BGS. Let's go in. Drop a supply. Summon Thrall, double death charge. Hey, I missed. It's okay. Okay, that's average. Well, we're probably going to be doing that a bit. Oh, I forgot to mention Shadow Step as well. Occasionally, she'll put like a little marker under your character. Just run all the way across her to the other side, and you'll dodge that attack. Boulders are dropping. Stand next to it. I like to stand on the corner of a boulder because in the case that she does that shadow attack, like that, and let's say she's still throwing the rock, I just stand over here and I'm on the other corner of the boulder. There is a point where speccing is not worth it anymore, probably at some point on phase 2. Hopefully the next spec lands. Okay, we swap into range gear. We're going to bow for the cracked boulder. And I have Boulderdash on, so these are going a little bit faster, right? So just take it easy. When it's 2 away, you can just take it slow, but I wait for it to touch me and then run up. You'll see I just barely make it. So that's your indicator to make it every time. Works really well. Don't melee. Yeah. Don't run under Baba and click melee because it'll drag you back out and you'll get hit by the boulder. So don't do that. Very common mistake. I'm going to sit on the corner of this boulder. She's about to throw the rock. And considering I didn't even get enough to use BGS, we're probably just skipping it. I'll Burning Claw from now on. Huh. I think I've never seen that happen. Interesting. Accidentally shot Baba there. That's okay. Just back up a little bit if you ever mess up. Okay. Running up to this row. Wait for it to touch me. Run. And then attack Baba. And we're just going to double spec. Make sure your claws are on stab for the raid. These bosses have like 500 slash defense, so it's not going to do anything if it's on slash. There you can see the shadow with the rock. Just kind of run that way. There we go. Baba's not too bad. Use 0 brew in that room, which is ideal. 1 dose of restore, not too bad. I was flicking piety a little bit. If you're not flicking at all, you probably expect to use 2, maybe 3 doses there. Make sure you always pick up your supplies as well. It's really common to forget a brew and just be screwed after this, so. Okay, we're at the big bug. Not too much to keep track of here. The main thing, I'm running Overlords for this. Maybe you aren't running Overlords in your 300s. You probably don't want to, but let's say you're turning that on. It's not a super bad invo. It's very easy to run. She's going to shoot bombs at you. They are mage type damage. If you're standing in the center of it, especially with aerial assault, does a ton of damage. Hits you for like 70, okay? I'm running aerial assault to show you how to deal with that. Every handful of attacks, she's going to do little flies around your character. After a few seconds, she's going to knock you into the wall and do a line of dung that's going to block you. You can't move anymore. You're going to use this to your advantage, okay? We are going to block off these 2 rows. So we're going to stand on this tile and this tile when that happens. And that's going to cage the melee scarab so you don't have to deal with it. Her other thing that she can do is she can shoot a bunch of eggs out all across the room. The little, like, paler, like, less dark eggs explode on you and just do some damage if you're next to them. So you don't want to stand next to them. The darker eggs can spawn agile scarabs. The agile scarabs are just going to hit you for range damage. You're probably just going to camp range prey for the majority of the room. The eggs are guaranteed full damage from your melee weapons, so it can be worth tagging it to grab some death charge. You'll see people in higher raid levels using Kiris, which I didn't bring, using Kiris to heal off of the eggs as well. Not terrible. Once you damage Kephri down to 0, she's going to summon with Overlords 2 fellas and then 3 fellas. The ranged scarab is going to hit you for massive damage if you're not praying ranged. So you have to camp prey ranged. And the melee scarab she spawns is going to chase you down, but if he's trapped, he won't be able to hit you at all. If he's chasing you down, he's going to hit very, very accurately for like 30 plus. The last one, which is only going to be seen on phase 2, is going to be the arcane scarab. The arcane scarab slowly charges up these little red things around him. Once he fills up the full ring around him, he's going to shoot you with a mage attack that deletes you. It does a ton of damage. The way you make him not do that is by attacking him. If you hit him enough times, he's going to jump, go to a different part of the room. You're always going to focus the arcane first, then the spitting scarab, and then the melee scarab. The reason you have to kill the melee scarab, even though he's trapped, why do I have to kill him? What does that do? He heals Kephri constantly, so that's bad. Kill him. Maging him is going to work really well. Meleeing the spitting scarab works well on that. You can also range, melee, whatever works on the arcane scarab. They all have low defense now, so you can hit them with just about anything. The last thing that's going to be happening is when those guys pop up, when the overlords pop up, swarms are going to be spawning and going into Kephri, and they go in like a clockwise formation. They're going to spawn on and go into Kephri, and they're going to recharge your health for the next phase. What you can do is run around the room with your blowpipe, shoot them, and she won't heal as much. If you do this super, super well, only like 3 go in total. Healing her like 100, something like that. So it can speed up your raids a lot. You technically can let them all go in and still complete the raid, but I'm going to try to show you, at least on the first phase, how to tag them for the most part. The main thing to keep in mind is that Kephri is 5 tiles long and your blowpipe range is 5 tiles, right? So that means you can't shoot a swarm that's on the other side of Kephri. Your blowpipe, when you click things, kind of has a mind of its own. It's doing its own thing. So I'm going to try to roughly show how to manually path towards the swarms and then click on them so you don't get path wrong. Nice thing for the swarms as well. The Teams of a Masket plugin can show numbers on the swarms for which one has spawned, like in what order. So the numbers, like the first one is spawned, second one is spawned, third one is spawned. Can be kind of handy. Specs for this room before we go in. We're going to immediately BGS. BGS has a very low chance of hitting, but it is still worth doing. This is the one room where Bone Dagger is actually better. Overall, BGS is better for the raid, so we're bringing that. We're going to dump specs until we get 20 damage. This lasts until the very end of Kephri, so it's really high value. If we don't land anything at the start, from then on, it's not really going to be worth it. So just Burning Claw after you've used the first 2 specs if you don't get 20 damage. I'm going to need to sip Sandfew because I've been yapping and my anti has run out, but normally it would last long enough. We're going to do that as well. We're going to go in the room, drop some pots. Summon Thrall, Death Charge. Oh, look at that. That makes up for the Baba damage. We'll take that. And because Burning Claws can go on stab, they're pretty accurate here. Not too bad. Okay. Let's get the swarm on this line. So you never want to stand right next to Kephri when she does that swarm. It'll knock you in the corner. Stand 2 tiles away, like right where I was standing, and it'll do a clean line like this. Now, one of the concerns is if I do too much damage here, which I'm doing. With the BGS, I've done way too much damage. What you can do is just wait until the next swarm special. So this is a little cursed, but I'm going to run around hitting these. Oh, see, that hits you. Don't stand next to that. Don't be a doofus. I don't want to send the next phase until I trap this melee. So with Overlords, it can be a little bit awkward. If you're not running Overlords, you don't need to worry about it this much. You can get the second swarm later. There it is. Okay. We're going to swap to this. We're going to get the blowpipe out. Let's tag some swarms. Gonna go up to this corner. You can shoot the spitting occasionally. I can actually reach this all the way across Kephri because it's in line with her. You just see me manually pathing in a circle, basically. I can tag this with a long-range weapon because it's really far. Start moving to the next one. Basically, you're just trying your best to catch as many as you can. I'm not going to catch that one. It's okay. Click on this. Click on this. There we go. So like 3 went in. Not too horrible. Fang works okay on this guy. If you are bringing Kyrus, it's actually better to just hit him with Kyrus. It's one of the few things, like hitting things with Kyrus is good. And you can see it healing Kephri right now. See, our health is going up. That's because of the melee. Eye is really, really, really good on the soldier because it has low defense. Now, on the second phase, I wouldn't tag swarms because it's really dangerous with the arcane. Just kill the arcane ASAP. Like, it's just not worth the risk. We're going to move our way up because the arcane's always going to spawn in this corner. If I got dung, I would have run up here. Okay, we're going to swap to Bofa because it's going to jump around the room. Really, really annoying. And kill it. Wow, no biggie. Pretty good damage. Kill the spitting because he damages you a lot. A lot of chip damage. You're going to see I just kind of let the swarms go in on this phase. It's just not worth the risk of grabbing those. Double Death Charge is super good in this room. You can get it off swarms. You can get it off all of the overlords. Like, you're constantly death charging in this room. Amazing to have. This is probably the biggest reason you want double Death Charge. And now that's basically all the mechanics. We're just going to kill Kephri. She's going to launch us backward one final time when we drain all her health here. Now, this is something to look out for. I'm going to do it on purpose. Why can't I move? Okay, now I could. If she does swarms on you, like the bugs around you and is about to do dung, and you phase, you can't move. So that can cause you to get trapped. If you do it in this corner, it'll kick you out in the right direction. You'd be safe. But something to keep in mind, you can get screwed over by that. So never put yourself in a situation where that could trap you. Okay, make sure you always pick up your pots. I'm going to decant, and we're going to move on to the next room. You got a supply ghost here. Before we do that, there's some items we don't need anymore, right? So we don't need the Divine Super Combat. Blowpipe we're not going to need either. That's not going to be useful to us. Bofa is going to cover us for range the rest of this. That was literally just for the swarms and monkey room. And then, this wonderful screen. Ooh, let me look at my chaos. Should I take chaos? I don't know. Don't think. Stop thinking. Click power. Stop thinking. Click power. Click power. The reason you do that is it gives you 2 salts. You don't have to worry about salt anymore in the raid. And if you don't have enough potions to get through the raid, you're like, everything went wrong. I don't know what to do. You skill issued. Still take power. Chaos is a big noob trap, I would say. It's going to make your raid a lot harder later. Okay, this is Zebak puzzle. It's like the shortest puzzle, but it's a little complicated. It's a little bit weird what's going on, so I'm going to explain it. Basically, the way this room works is spikes are coming out of these that are going to hit you for damage. What you're going to do is run past these spikes, grab water from the waterfall up here, which you're going to grab with a jug, which is here. You're going to put this in your inventory, go use it on this waterfall to grab water and bring it back. If you get hit on the way back, you're going to lose half of your water, which is going to mean you have less water for this tree. You need 2 full jugs of water on this tree to finish the room. There's a really, really easy way to avoid getting hit, and I'm going to try to show it. It's a little weird and confusing. It's only like this in this room. And go ahead and grab the jug right off the bat. These tiles I have show where the spikes are like 1 tile before. So if you're standing on this, it's going to be 1 tile before the spikes. Same with this one. Okay? You're going to see poison coming down as well. The poison you need to avoid manually to avoid getting hit by it. So you want to go down a path that doesn't have the poison. But the spikes, there's a trick. I'm standing in a monkey's tile. Run! Ow! Why did that hit me? What the heck? I always watch people do this and they don't get hit. Why is that? Because if you're moving before you hit the tiles, it doesn't hit you. So you need what is called a running start. It's very, very strange. Basically, as long as you were not standing still before you ran through it, these spikes can't hit you. See, I just ran through that. So that's how that works. That's how we avoid these. As long as you're running first, you run straight through it. So just try to avoid the poison when you run through. The poison still hits you, but you can cheat the spikes. Then, when you're running back from the waterfall, run straight through the spikes. Don't stop. And then you don't get hit by them. Easy. So that's how you do it every single time. The lizards come up and bite you if the tree is not watered. And they hit you really hard. They're like guaranteed to hit you. They mess up your day, so don't get bit by these. Would not recommend it. If you have watered the tree, the lizard will come up and start eating the tree and drain its health, and you'll have to get more water. If you're really quick on the trees, you'll finish the tree before it even reaches it. So you'll see people just completely ignore these. They give you 25 health of leeway, so even if a lizard spawns, you'll probably just finish the room and be good. Not too bad, not too bad. This is the big crocodile. Big crocodile is a pretty easy room. You shouldn't use too many supplies here. So you want to try and avoid using supplies if possible. You'll use a little bit of prayer. Try not to get hit. You can avoid using brew entirely in this room if you do it really, really well. Basically, this big crocodile is going to spit some stuff above you. It's going to spit either a jug or a big rock above the room. It's going to go up here. And then it's going to explode and shoot towards you. The big rock is a ranged hit, and the big jug is a mage hit. It's going to shoot a little red energy ball at you. As long as you have your prayer up when this touches your character, you will avoid the damage entirely and not get hit. Easy. That's the main default attack. Sometimes with the invocations we have on, there's going to be a tiny little blood animation on Zebak's character. It looks like a blood barrage. This is one of 2 attacks. It's either going to just hit you with a blood barrage. He literally just blood barrages you. It damages you. It heals him. If you pray mage, you block it entirely. And then, once he's done that attack, the other thing he can do when you see the blood animation on him is summon blood spawns. So this is going to spawn 3 little tomatoes that are going to move towards you. If you stand on my red tiles here or here, if the blood spawns, because they always spawn in this area or this area, if the blood spawns spawn in the opposite side from where you're standing, let's say you're standing right here and the blood spawns spawn over here, they're going to move all the way over to you, and then they're going to die right as they touch you. You don't even have to move. So it's really, really nice to stand on these tiles, not only because the blood spawns can't hit you, but also because of when he does his next special attack, the acid attack, which is for both specials, it can't spawn acid in this area. So that can be kind of nice. These red tiles are safe from acid. They're safe from the blood spawns if they spawn on the other side. Now, sometimes blood spawns are going to spawn right next to you. Then you need to dance around. You need to dance around and not get hit by them, right? You have a 50-50 to not have to deal with them. Kind of nice. Would recommend just standing here at all times. Zebak, I think it's roughly 15% damage you deal. I think it's like an exact threshold, like 18%, something like that. He'll do a special attack. He can do one of 2 special attacks. The first one is acid, 3 little barricades, or like a handful of barricades up here. Basically, like some stones are going to be at the front of Zebak. It's also going to spawn a bunch of jugs around the room. These jugs are full of water. You can push them. You can also, a lot of people don't know this, if you hold right click, you can pull the jugs and they'll go towards you. So you can send them in a direction. You can also stand diagonal to them and push them diagonally or pull them diagonally. A lot of people don't know this. They just think, oh, I can just push it in a straight line. You can do a lot of things. Basically, you're going to push a jug. You're going to shoot it. It's going to clear the acid out of the way of the stones. You're going to stand behind them, and then Zebak is going to roar repeatedly. Does a ton of damage if you're not behind cover. So that's what you're doing. You're freeing up that cover. You're going to stand behind it. It's going to protect you. A lot of people struggle with this with upset stomach. Upset stomach makes that water area it affects much smaller. Like it's a 3x3 instead of a 5x5, I think it is. The way you deal with this special attack at the beginning, wow, this just kind of all works out. Stand in this area because the solve for the first jugs will always be right here. Always. There will always be a solve for the first barricades right here with this jug. So if you're standing here, you go, push, shoot, hide. Easy, done, solved, right? If you stand on the right side, it's sometimes covered in acid. You don't want to stand there. Stand on the left side at the beginning. He will actually do this special attack a second time in the fight after he does his next special attack, which I'm about to explain. So he's going to do his next special attack, explain how to deal with that. Then he'll put down more barricades. The solve for this, he's going to shoot the barricades a little further in the middle of the room. The solve for this is always in the middle of the room. So standing in this area, first solve is always going to be this jug. Second solve, always going to be in this area. Second special attack, and he always alternates between these two special attacks. It's random which one he starts with, but he alternates. He'll shoot out a ton of acid, even more acid than the other one, and he's going to do waves across the room that just slowly go towards you with a small gap. The idea is that you stand in the middle of this gap to avoid getting hit by the wave. The wave does a ton of damage, knocks you back. It can push you in the water, and you get eaten by crocodiles. No, don't be a swimmer. The gaps in the waves can spawn as far down as below this green line. This green line, by the way, very, very helpful. Shows you the max distance you can bow for the boss, which is the main thing you're going to be doing in this room. The waves can be a little bit below this green line, which means you can't even shoot Zebak while you're dealing with the waves, up to right in his face. So that's a wide area of range on the waves. So I'm going to show you a trick in order to skip waves. You can hold shift and right click them to add a tile indicator on them so you can see like where exactly they are on the screen. But basically what you're going to do is kind of similar to the Baba boulders we talked about earlier. Wait for it to touch you. Same thing with the waves. Wait for it to touch your character. You're going to step backwards a tile, so like with the direction the wave is going, and then run through it. This has the same thing as the other room, that trap room, the Zebak puzzle room, where we need a running start. This gives you a running start. You cannot run through them normally, but if you move first, you can go straight through it. Which can save you in a pinch. At below roughly a quarter health, Zebak is going to enrage, and he's just going to rapid fire attack you. He's going to spam attacks very, very quickly. It's the same thing as before. Just pray against them. He's occasionally going to do that little blood animation. You can catch the mage prayer, but because it's a level 0 to a level 1 Zebak, which is important, I cannot catch that mage prayer. It's going to hit you. It hits you guaranteed. It's really annoying. It lines up with his attacks that are hitting you. So you just take some chip damage in this phase. If it's a level 2 or 3 Zebak, which it might be in your raids when you get here, if it's a level 2 or 3, you can actually flick to Mage Prayer right before that attack hits you, and you can flick both. So you can actually catch the Mage Prayer. Unfortunately, at this level, it's not going to work. So we're going to take some damage at the end. He's going to attack quickly. We're just going to pray. Okay, before we go in the room, make sure you hit your salt. This stuff is so broken, it gives you massive boost to your damage. Very useful. Also lets you brew and just get your stats back now. So that's going to be nice. We're going to walk in with BGS. Zebak actually has a final special attack. If you are right in front of him, he can bite your head off. The way you avoid that is by doing this. Run up towards him. As soon as you swing, run out of the way. Run backwards. As long as you do that, even if he does the bite, you'll just straight up dodge it. And you're chilling. Same thing as with Kephri. You just BGS until you get 20 damage. So I got a 60 hit there. That's way over 20. We're good. I'm going to stand on this left side for when the blood spawns happen. Also, don't forget to summon a thrall. Death charge doesn't matter in this room. Hey, we're getting waves first. Okay. So on the very first wave, it's going to spawn next to us. And we're going to go through the gap. I'll show how to do a wave skip on the last one. But ideally, you'd just be running up, dodging these. Okay, this is a little bit far away. Let it touch you, step away, run through it. And that's all you do. It's not too difficult. If you mess it up, it can really hurt, though. So it's better to be safe than sorry if it's not too big of a deal to get out of the way. Hey, look at that. There's always a solve here. But this time I have to pull. Don't forget that you can pull jugs. That gave us a solve. Always is a solve in this location. We're just going to sit here and keep shooting him. Triple roar. And move back. See that blood animation? Ah, there's my blood spawns. Okay. Now, if he pairs this with a special attack like this, it can be very, very, very awkward. So it just takes some practice. You basically just want to run away from them until they go away. And then you're good. Okay, that last wave is kind of far away. You probably in your raid would just run for this gap. It's not that far, but I'll show another wave skip. And there you go. Did we skip the last barricades? I think I did. It is what it is. The BGS was big and I did too much damage. It happens sometimes. If the barricades spawned, they'd be in this general area. There's always going to be a jug here to solve by pushing it towards one of them. You usually have to push diagonally, so you want to be looking for that. You can see he's just attacking a bit faster. This is going to be a lot faster at level 2 or 3 and insanely fast at level 4. But pretty much just sit here, pray against the attacks. Ending on low prayer is kind of nice because we'd just get all that prayer back. We're at Akkha. I've cleared all of my tiles out. This is probably the most tile-heavy room. I'm going to be showing how to do 3-tick butterfly with the eye because it's better DPS than the Bofa. There is also a method for Bofa that is 4-tick. I have guides for all of this, so you can go check that out. I'm not going to break it down super hard, but we will be doing it and at least showing it. If you go in the Tile Packs plugin, you can actually grab the tiles for all of these. I like to just keep 4-tick. Like these 4-tick tiles also work for 3-tick. In this room, it's really important to enter and immediately run in because Akkha's going to be far away. It lets you set up butterfly more easily. I would say Akkha's probably the hardest room of the raid besides the last boss. What he does is he has 3 different attack styles he's going to swap through occasionally. He's going to start by meleeing you. All of his attacks hit through prayer. They don't hit too hard, but his melee hits the hardest. These can be blocked, so stuff like bandos is going to help you in a room like this if you're tanking. What he's going to do is start with meleeing you, then swap styles. He's going to swap into range, where he's going to shoot little spikes out of his spear at you, and then he's going to swap into mage, where he shoots like red spears at you. Each time he does this, whatever style he's using is what the protection prayer over his head is going to be, so you can't hit him with the style he's using. So right now he's praying melee, that means he's melee. So it makes it very easy to tell what to use. I personally use radius markers to also make it super obvious. I basically make his radius the color of the style that he's using to make it like insanely obvious. But these days with the protection prayer always being what he uses, it's pretty obvious anyway, so you don't necessarily need that. Basic rundown of the room is that you're going to attack Akkha. When he gets down to 20%, or when you've damaged him 20% of his health, shadows are going to spawn in all 4 of these quadrants, and these hourglasses on the side are going to start ticking a timer. This timer is how long you have to kill one of the shadows. Doesn't matter which one you start with, you're going to have to kill that shadow. If you don't kill the shadow before this timer fills up, they're going to hit you with a wave of damage. And it's different in each quadrant. The most dangerous is the skull. Believe it or not, the death quadrant is the most dangerous one. Crazy. It just hits you for massive damage. Burn also hits you for massive damage. The lightning one turns your prayer off, and the white one makes you attack a tick slower for like... So, weapon of choice, you can just spam eye on everything. Eye works really, really well. I am going to use a method called butterfly. What butterfly does is it makes it so when Akkha's in melee form, we're going to dodge out of his radius every time we attack and never let him get an attack off. It's kind of like Godward's dungeon methods. It saves you a lot of health. It means you use basically no supplies in this room. Also, if he doesn't hit you and you have Stay Vigilant on, he'll actually stay melee forever. As long as he never gets an attack off, he'll never change style. So it makes the room a lot easier as well if you know how to do this. Obviously, the method is kind of awkward and hard though. Don't need to do this, and I'm going to show both ways, like doing it with butterfly to show the people that want to learn it, and showing just tanking if you want to see how to do that as well. If you are butterflying and you're in this setup, you don't have a ton of good spec options because you're just going to be running around and maging the whole time. Eye spec actually does work on Akkha. He recovers his stats really quickly, but that doesn't apply to his mage defense. Now, his mage defense is only 10, so it's not doing very much, but you don't really have a better option anyways, right? So you can use that if you're going to butterfly the whole time and purely mage. If you're going to tank Akkha, just Burning Claw stuff. Burning Claw Akkha, Burning Claw the Shadows, that works as well. So that's better than IX specking. IX spec is not 3-tick though, so you got to watch out for that. Yeah, so if you're going to IX spec, make sure you do it the instant you enter the room so you can get it off before he reaches you. It's going to be important because it's a bit slower. I'm going to start by showing how to do butterfly with this. Then I'm going to mess up and kind of show like what to do after that. I'm going to try to show as well. We'll see if Akkha works with me. I want to try to show what to do when he does a special attack. Special attacks Akkha has. What can he do? In solo, there's not a ton. So the first thing he does is he turns you black. So it's going to drop orbs behind you as you run. And if you stop moving after you run, you're going to get hit by that orb. And it's going to damage you for the same amount as this death wave. So it hurts you super, super bad. If you are constantly moving and doing butterfly, you don't have to worry about this. It's not going to hit you. Second special attack he has, as Simon says, he's going to disappear, light up these tiles. The amount of tiles he lights up is based on the raid level, or the room level, so he's level 2 right now. If he's level 0 to 1, he's going to do 4 different tiles he's going to light up. If it's level 2 to 3, it's going to do 5 tiles. And if it's level 4 or higher, it's going to do 6 tiles. Okay, so make sure you don't get thrown off by that. Check the room level before you go into Akkha as well. It's a level 2, so it's going to do 5 for me. When Akkha does a special attack, it can be really confusing to keep Butterfly, because when he does the Black Orb special attack, it actually stops Akkha in place. So you're doing your Butterfly, he'll stop in place and then start moving towards you. This can throw off your whole Butterfly, which can be super annoying. I'm going to try to show how to deal with that. Sometimes you just can't, and he's going to hit you. It is what it is sometimes. The basic idea is when he does a special attack and you see him stop in place, you want to stand on the start tile, which is here, and get ready to set up Butterfly the same way you did at the start of the room. That's the basic idea. At the very end of the fight, after you've got him down to 0, he's going to heal back up. You're going to kill. He's basically going to teleport to a corner of the room with shadows. You're going to be able to do 3 hits, 3 melee hits, because you can be praying everything else. You can pray ranged and mage. You can do 3 melee hits. Successful melee hits, by the way. If you hit a 0, he won't teleport until your 4th hit, so on and so on. So 3 successful melee hits, he'll teleport to a different side of the room. And Cum is going to flood the room, and it's going to damage you. This hits like 25, roughly. If you're in a 300 and you pray mage, it's going to reduce the damage a little bit. If you're at a higher raid level, that stops working. So you can pray mage in a 300, it reduces it a little bit. Basically, just try to avoid it as much as possible and damage him as quickly as possible so you don't have to deal with it. You can also, on your 3rd hit, spec with Burning Claws. It works pretty well in this fight. That'll still do like good damage, and he'll still teleport on the 3rd hit regardless, so that can be kind of nice to use as well. I think we got there. Okay, we'll try to give the breakdown. There's 2 different sets of tiles. The other one works fine too, but the 4-tick tiles are really convenient because they also work for 3-tick, and I'm going to show that. You want to make sure Akkha's on the other side of the room, like where he is. If you enter immediately, that's where he'll be. Let's go in, get our spec off. Hey, a 10, that's the full drain, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. Go to the start tile. Now, every time we attack, we're going to move 2 tiles and then attack again. Just like that. And you're going to see he never catches up to me, and I can just keep moving. Now, nice thing about Salt is it makes it so you don't need a stamina, because it constantly gives you run energy back, so you have unlimited run energy as long as you're salted. Okay, same thing with the Shadow. Really important to have shift click walk under for these so you can actually click properly and get away from them. We're just going to get around him. He's going to do a special fairly soon. So once that Shadow's dead, we're going to keep attacking Akkha. Okay, and he put that orb down. So this is a situation where, yeah, you technically could get it so he doesn't melee you, but realistically, like, it's just not going to happen. Like, you want to move down to this attack tile. You want to move down to this attack tile when he does that. But right there, he's in the middle, so he was going to hit me if I ran there. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. You sometimes can jank around, like, outside the quadrant and run all the way back to fix it, but in that situation, it just wasn't going to work. You saw that he changed range. The only reason he swapped to ranged, doing Simon Says, by the way. The only reason he swapped to ranged is because he hit me with a melee hit. So that's the only time you're going to see that happen. So now we're going to swap to melee. Just kidding. We're going to keep maging. Lol, you can keep doing that. I'm used to old Akkha that didn't let you do this. Just for range, we're going to tank a little bit. He doesn't hit too hard. You can easily get through this room with tanking. It's totally fine. Just Butterfly's going to save you a little bit of supplies. Okay, that's Dark Orbs. You want to make sure that you move 2 tiles in your last path and then stop when you have Black Orbs. That's going to make it so you don't get hit. So, like, what I did there was totally fine to move up closer. Okay, he's going to do Simon Says. You can actually keep hitting these as you do Simon Says. Just be a little bit careful with it. It's not worth risking damage to keep hitting. Oopsies. That's okay. That's probably going to happen to you once or twice. This is probably what the brew is for, this room. Chug it, restore. Salt's going to give it back. chilling. Now, because I've already got my spec off, and I've fallen out of butterfly, let's get some specs off. Actually do quite a bit of damage, so it adds up. Okay. Also, Thrall is good. Don't forget Thrall. Death Charge does actually work on the shadows as well, so something to keep in mind. You can get spec back quickly from doing that. Swap Fang. The next time he swaps, we'll go back to maging. Might have been killing him just with a Fang. Not quite. That's okay. Okay. Now he's going to pick a corner of the room. These orbs are going to hit you 25 each time if you're not praying mage. So something to keep in mind, is your health over, like, what you could tank, like, 2 hits of? This is, like, the perfect health to be at. Like, being at 53 means I could take 2 and still live. So if you're below, like, 50, probably want to brew, realistically. Maybe even get over 75. I'm Fang specking. Fang spec is what you would do with a Void Waker, because Void Waker doesn't work here. It's mage damage. Fang spec is okay. It keeps things simple. Burning Claw on your 3rd hit is just going to be a little bit better. Fang spec is totally fine, though. You saw it kind of destroyed him anyways. That works, too. Okay, we're at the next supplies. Oh, geez, what do I pick? Chaos? Power? Stop thinking. Stop thinking. Power life, 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 power life. Always power life. Always power life. We have enough salt, we have enough adrenaline, and this gives you unlimited supplies for the end. So just always, always, always power life, power life, power life, power life, power life. I'm saying it a lot of times so people remember. Because I have seen a lot of people who love to pick chaos. Do not pick chaos. Power life, power life, power life. Okay, cool. Again, there's some items we don't need in here. Fang is going to be one of them. Nope. Okay. When you have this many supplies left, what you can do, like, I don't want this 1-dose pot, right? You can just get rid of it. Because we have so many supplies, this is like unlimited supplies on its own. Like, you technically could get rid of all of these. Kind of nice to save some just to be safe, but maybe get rid of the partial dose potions just to give yourself some space can be nice. Okay, we're at P1. Now, we have a Bofa, and Bofa's actually better than I. Just check. They're pretty close, but Bofa's a little bit better than I. On the first phase, there's an obelisk. It's going to be shooting skulls down both of these little conduits towards these statues. These statues have a little charge bar over them. When the skulls touch them, that's what charges it. So per skull that touches it, charges it up a little bit. The first thing they're going to do is when that bar reaches full, they're going to jump UFOs down. They're going to be yellow and red. If you don't touch these skulls, and you can actually stand on them and tank them, they do 3 damage per skull, and it's going to make the charges offset a little bit. If you don't tank the skulls, it's going to make all of the UFOs drop at once and instantly kill you. Now, because we're using a Bofa, we don't care about that, because we're going to go to the edge of this room. The edge over here actually doesn't have any UFOs. They don't hit you. Ah, but you see, you do have to worry about it. I tricked you. I lied. You need to tank 3 skulls. 3 skulls. Why do you need to tank 3 skulls? The skulls you tank is what dictates which boss you're going to fight in the next phase. You don't want to fight this one next phase. Just trust me on this. You don't want to do that. For many reasons. How do you avoid doing that? Tank 3 skulls on the left side. If you tank 0, for some reason, the game always defaults to making you fight this one. I don't know why. The other special attack he has, which is a thing in teams, is he'll shoot out these 2 orbs. The thing in teams is, the first one's going to be a skinny orb where you're going to spread apart, which is going to reduce the damage. And then the second fat orb, you're going to get together, and it's going to reduce the damage as well if you're all stacked together. That's not a thing in solo. It's just going to hit you a bunch of damage. I believe it's in the 60s, those 2 orbs together, in 300. 75 at 375 raid level, and that's what it caps at, is 75 total damage. Just keep your health over 75 when the orbs are coming out. You'll be safe. All you do is take them. That's all you do. They just hit you. That's literally it. What a cool mechanic, right? Yeah, that's it for P1. We're going to open the fight with 1 BGS, and we're going to sip a Dren Pot. A Dren Pot makes you use half of your spec energy. This is going to carry into P2, and we'll explain why that's important while we're doing it. We're going to do 1 Burning Claw spec, and you want to swap them to Slash. Put your claws on Slash for this boss fight, because they're going to be a little bit more accurate, do a little bit more damage. And then you're going to book it over here. Book it over here and start shooting it with your Bofa. Okay? That's all you do. I'll explain the other bosses as we get to them, because I'll just take it slow, and we'll explain what you're doing. Make sure you're salted. Make sure you have room. You'll see I pulled out one of each supply. By the way, before you start this room, make your shift click resupply on the bag. That means when I sip a brew, let's say I sip a brew here, if I shift click, boom, that brew is refilled. So very, very, very helpful to have this on shift click resupply, because as things are attacking you, you can't go in the bag. So it's going to make it a lot easier to deal with. Have one of each supply out, and then you can just shift click to refill your supplies. All right, let's do it. We're going to summon a Thrall. Death Charge out of habit. Death Charge doesn't matter. And we're going to start the fight. Spec. Oh, it's big. Claw Spec. Put on Bofa. Start shooting as we work our way over here. And at our leisure, tank 3 of these. Chilling. And that's the whole fight. You now AFK, and you're going to drink brew occasionally. That's literally the entire fight. You can see these guys can't reach us because we're on this tile. And our damage is looking good enough, so I'm going to run up here to make the shots land a little faster. Possibly avoid the balls hitting us. I didn't even take that 75 damage, or whatever. 60-something damage. Very nice. Okay, we're going to swap into Mage. Resummon your Thrall. Turn on Mage Prey. And you're always going to start with Mage on this side. Now, I'm going to take this nice and slow to kind of show, like, what's going on. I'm going to do this phase quickly, though, because my Adren is running, which is going to be important for the core. As you're doing this fight, what you want to do is move your DDS to this orientation, because we're going to really quickly switch to DDS. He's shooting skulls at me. Those are ranged. He also does this, like, wind-up animation every time he does a ranged attack. So you know a ranged attack is coming when he does that. He has a different animation, which is this, for his mage attack. Okay, so same as Zebak, swap between the two prayers. And I'm going to explain that special attack that we just did after I do this. I pray range for that arrow. Quickly do a switch. And use your DDS specs. DDS hits insanely, insanely hard on this and uses barely any spec. You can get five total specs if you were tick perfect. Finishing with a BGS whack on the core, which I forgot to do. Lol. Oops. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, you're going to swap into range for the second phase. It's going to alternate back and forth. You're going to be ranging and you're going to be maging. Now, the first special attack was the, like, converging waves. You just run over it with these two tiles. These two tiles solve every single special you're going to deal with. That stuns you in place if you step on that, so make sure you get out of the way of that. Skulls is the hardest one to deal with. But one of the things you can take advantage of is they have a safe area and a plush formation all the way around them. You can see there's little gaps in the lightning. So if you stand right next to that, you're actually totally safe. You can also just run really far away from them. That works too, but a nice little trick to deal with it. I'm going to use a Band-Aid. Band-Aids give you a lot of health. And we're going to switch quickly into DDS. And we're going to sip a Dren and do the same thing. Because we got this below 60%, we can actually do 10 attacks here. We're going to do 5, 6, 7. Very important. 8, 9. To purposefully not kill this on the second down, because it gives you a lot of points if you don't kill it. This phase keeps giving you points all the way up until the third down, and you want to do that for points. It's really, really solid for points. I've also dragged the boss, so I'm gonna rework my tiles and just go one further down, basically, to be safe. So that works fine. So you're just going to run through the converging waves. There is one more special, which I'm going to stall out and show, which is Windmill, which should be happening now. There it is. Windmill. You actually just deal with this by running back and forth over the green and red tile. Because he's in the way, I have to be careful so that he doesn't melee me. But you're just going to run over this by doing this. That's it. Very, very easy to deal with. That's every single phase special he has. And then it ends. Once you kill the core, the phase is over. All melee hits max it, so that's why we're doing DDS. DDS is insane. We love that. If you had supplies on the ground, go ahead and pick them back up. Whatever you can fit. Take it. And we're starting the final phase. Run down here quick! And he always starts with the left side. This is Insanity I'm showing, which is 3 tick attack speed. What you're going to do is keep attacking the boss until you miss, because that's going to make your gauntlets proc on the special attack, which is going to drain his mage defense. This actually carries all the way through phase 4, so it's a really, really strong spec, and it's going to let us eye the whole time, so we're just going to do that. I'm actually going to spec one more time because I wasn't quite at the cap. There we go. Now I'm capped on damage. Beautiful. From now on, we can do Burning Claw specs if we want, but that's about all we can do for specs from now on. You just walk in this pattern for insanity. It's every 3 ticks you move. Wow, you're using an eye, so that's exactly the same as his attack speed. Very, very nice. Makes it very, very simple to do. Now we're going to do skulls. And I'm going to show how to do a skull skip. You're going to instantly attack all 3 of them. And when they explode, you're going to run from the red tile towards the middle of the room. Why would you want to do a skull skip? Why are you doing that? 2 things there. First of all, I killed 3 of the skulls. Why did I do that? If you kill all but one of the skulls, it's not lethal. It'll hit you for like 70 damage and not kill you, which is really, really nice. Secondly, the reason we do skull skips is because normally hitting all the skulls damages the boss 5% of his health. This is the best points of the entire raid. You want to do that damage. It's going to increase your purple chance a lot to do that skull skip. So while you're learning, it's okay to not do the skull skip. It's fine. I honestly think it's a little bit easier. And I'm going to show a trick you can do as well. Something else you can do if you prefer to do it this way. This will be lethal, but it makes it a little bit easier. Put on your Bofa and just spam click a skull. And then as soon as it disappears, you're actually just going to insta-run without even thinking. So that's going to make it really, really easy. The downside is that if you do manage to mess up, which I have done before, it'll insta-one-shot you. So that kind of sucks, but that makes it very easy. If you want to do it that way, totally valid. Zebak has spawned because we're below 60%, so we just need to pray occasionally now. One of the things I didn't mention is after you do a skull skip with Insanity, always just go to the back of the room. I've seen people counting his attacks and like trying to keep track of which side he's going to attack on, because Insanity, it picks up where it was. If you go to the back of the room, you have time to react. So I don't even pay attention to where he was attacking last. I literally just go over there. Do this with the eye again. Also works with the eye, by the way. Now, you can see it's not perfect. You do actually tank a boulder. You could dodge the first one just to make sure that doesn't happen. There's reasons I don't do that normally. I like to attack the skulls, be a little less lazy with it, but it does work in a pinch to just do that. Now Baba has spawned. Baba is dumping rocks on us. As long as you just keep doing the pattern, you're not going to get hit by them. Okay, last skulls. Let's do it one more time. Let's dodge one more rock. Okay, now start spam clicking. Easy, there you go. That's all four skull skips. Literally just go to the red tile and you can spam red X. Works just as well as everything else. Okay, after we get the boss low, he's going to go to P4. So when you're getting ready for P4, full heal up. Give yourself every advantage you can because it's the scariest part of the raid. Get full prayer. I'm going to do the boot tank off. You do not need to respec with Eye on P4 because it does actually carry over. And the nice thing about Eye on this phase is it actually fits perfectly into the lightning cooldown. The lightning is on its 6-tick cycle. Because you're 3-tick, it's actually going to fit. Because it's 3-tick, then 3-tick, which is 6-tick. So you can do this pretty easily without losing any ticks and dodging all the lightning, which is just really, really nice. You gotta be kind of vigilant. Don't tank the boulders. If anything, don't tank the boulders. That's the thing that hits you the most on this phase. Lightning and prayers don't hit too hard, but the boulders hit you insanely hard, so that's the main thing you want to dodge. And if you need to dodge lightning, it's better to lose a tick than tank the lightning damage. So just always dodge if you need to. Now, I'm going to slow down my damage just to show last row for fun. Oops. I'm also going to tank damage on purpose. Totally on purpose. Cut this out! Cut this out! Okay. Salt is good, yeah. That's true. Okay. With last row, What you want to do is pay attention to where the shadows are going. Find one of the first set. Basically, it's going to be shadow, 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 lightning, 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 right? So what you want to do is pick out one of the first set of shadow and click on it as soon as it strikes. Just like this. It's going to let you dodge infinitely. Like, I can do this forever. And then just keep catching your preyers. Now, the boss usually dies before you even get to last row, but it's good to be able to do this at least somewhat proficiently. So, like, you can do it in case your damage is really bad. If you can at least do it for a little bit and tank only a little bit of damage, you'll get through without using any supplies. There's also a sim. There is a simulator for this you can practice. That's about all you do. Let's kill him. So we get a purple. You see, I just, like, forced myself to step on the lightning. And that's it. That's a raid. Hour 16, not too bad. Oh, I left the timer on an accident. Whoops. Nice 280 clear. If you don't yap, it'll be a bit faster. Let's see if it's purple. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Okay. Okay, average. Oh, it wouldn't be a raid without getting some coconut milk at the end. Oh, perfect guide. That's exactly what you can expect. There will never be loot. You'll never get any money here. Average. Unlucky. Why does IAC work on last phase? It's just a quirk of how this spec works. It never drains, ever. So anything that, like, recovers defense really fast, anything like that, this does not ever get its defense back on any boss. There's no boss in the game that gets mage defense back. Just not a thing. So when it swaps to a different phase and, like, gives you defense back, that just gets ignored. Even Nightmare? Yeah. They did fix Nightmare. They did. Okay, so we got through the raid. Pretty straightforward. You can use my TOA Invocation Guide if you're using this rough setup, and you can push the raid level higher. This will work all the way up to a 500 raid level. It's going to be kind of tough without having a Shadow and T-Bow, but you absolutely can run even 500s with this setup. Comfortably, you can run 450s without being that good. So you can definitely push the raid level a lot higher than what I just ran. Very, very, very easily. I'd recommend throwing on more invos and just pushing it higher and higher if your setup is this decent. So I would recommend. Yellow Kyrus is good for higher raid levels. If you're pushing towards dehydration, you're going to need a Yellow Kyrus. It's going to be a thing that you're going to throw in. I didn't use it for this because you definitely, and you could see from me doing the raid, do not need a Yellow Kyrus. And in fact, it's just a huge waste of spec energy. So a lot of people are like, can I run TOA without getting a Yellow Kyrus? Can I even do 300s? Yes! You can! You just can't do 500s. But if that's your goal, you'll probably have a Yellow Kyrus by then, right? Surely, surely. That's it for the guide. Get in there. Do some raids. Good luck on getting a shadow. Good night to YouTube. Mwah!